welcome back to my channel. I'm so excited to dive into all things postpartum. I love these chats where we can just cook and chat together, and I hope that the recipes have been beneficial for you too. You're welcome to subscribe if you haven't already. Please go do that, and also turn your notifications on because I'm very sneaky. I post here, I post there, and then all of a sudden I post everywhere. So I would love to just share a little bit more of recipes and these chats. So today we're going to talk about vaginal steaming, V-steaming. I'm really excited to dive into that, as well as we're going to make these amazing apricot soaked in chamomile tea little power balls. I love making like raw balls. You can call them so many different things, but they're essentially just a ball that has nuts and seeds or has dried fruit in it, and you can just use them as a great like energy bite. That could be another name for them too. I love using a quick little like snack like that because it can provide the body with lots of natural sugars that in balance can be really beneficial during postpartum because our bodies need the calories. They need the energy to breastfeed our babies, to just feed our babies in general, to have the energy to move and groove and do the stuff that you need to do for postpartum healing, let alone activities outside of your body. So I am really excited to share with you this recipe. Again, you're welcome to go check out my blog. All of my goodies are there, including my recipe book that you can purchase, but free recipes are available always on my blog too. But yeah, let's dive into this amazing recipe, and I'm so excited to share with you all. So this is our beautiful palette that we're going to be using as artists today as we chat and cook together. These are some organic Turkish figs, and these are organic Turkish apricots. We have our raw honey, our wild raw honey, so beautiful, and this one is from US Wellness Meats, their beautiful farm. They supply that. And then we're going to make some chamomile tea, which I'm going to show you how to do that to soak these gems in. And then we're going to use almond butter and maybe peanut butter because I think I'm almost out of almond butter. So we're going to blend it, but the recipe will definitely call for any nut butter that you have available. But ideally, I like a nice almond butter or cashew butter. It's a little more sweet and a little creamy versus peanut butter can be a little intense sometimes and salty. So whatever your jam is, let's get into it and let's make this. Got to make sure that our tea kettle's on so that we can get our tea going as soon as possible. We're going to now do the fun chopping. Love this part of all recipes in general. I just love good chop. It feels so satisfying. So I'm going to be doing about 15 apricots. I would love to do fresh, but I think when you're making these balls, it's so much easier and there's less moisture for them to really stick. So 15 of these Turkish apricots we're gonna need. And then I'm going to chop about, I don't know, 6 figs. You can use dates instead if you were looking to make kind of a bar or like a little bite for pregnancy. If you're like trying to hit that quota of having your medjool dates every single day, that might be a good thing for you. But I'm just gonna choppy these real quick. But yeah, so let's talk about vaginal steaming. It has been around forever. So many cultures have some way that they, use vaginal steaming when they believe that your body should vaginal steam. And I'm definitely, again, not a midwife, so I'm not going to give you specific information of like this is going to help you with all of these ailments, but I definitely feel like we should know how to use a tool so that when things do come up, we know how to take care of that health. There's an ecosystem, there's an environment that we want to take care of, all like our actual environment and different parts of our body. We're always checking. We want to make sure that like if we have body odor, what's going on? If we have a bad breath, what's going on? We're always on top of all of these things, but this specific area we don't focus on or don't have as much maybe open conversation about, and because there's not that we don't learn about the things that really matter. And a big part of what matters is knowing how to take care of this ecosystem in a sense, take care of this environment, our pH balance, checking in, knowing what our bodies should be doing and what season, when, during the month, what week, all of that. So vaginal steaming really more than anything just opens up the gateways of really knowing and learning about what's going on with your body. So that's what I will say is like really beneficial, is that you're learning, regardless if you use the tool or not, you're learning when to support your body in this area or that area. I love how much herbalists know in terms of what herb and what floral can be the best for the body. And I find that so beautiful that they can, like, they know what is good for your body when, and I'm always in awe of that. And so anyways, I have been doing that for many years as a doula, is providing very basic minimal herbs for vaginal steaming. And you can, again, go in more in depth learning more about them through herbalists. You can find a great acupuncturist that can give you so many good tips and tools. You can talk to your midwife, etc. I took some chamomile tea, I brewed it in some hot water, nothing crazy there. I'm just soaking my apricots in some chamomile tea. I wanted to share with you the chamomile tea I purchased, not sponsored, but this is the Mountain Rose Herb Company, their tea, and I love it so much. So that's the chamomile there, and I just put it in a little tiny tea strainer and I just soaked it. So it has a little bit of the chamomile in there. Love the benefits of chamomile for inflammatory reasons. We just chopped up all of our figs, so I'm just gonna throw those in here too to soak a little bit. And then we can keep going with this recipe and just letting it all get chamomile delicious there. Another little glass. I love these little glass ones. They don't take up that much space, so definitely love that. 1/4 cup of coconut flour and then a 1/4 cup of almond butter, which is always a delight. Yum, yum. So it's truly up to you if you want to vaginal steam or not, but some mamas have found benefit. And again, my guide will really share about tips and tricks about doing vaginal steaming, but you can basically just take one huge pot on the stove and you can essentially just put your herbs in there with fresh, I like filtered water or spring water, and then let it come up to boil, keep the lid on, and then safely put it on the ground. Maybe put a heat pad or like a protector, like one of these little pot holders on the floor, and just to protect your floor. Put the pot down, and then you can put a blanket underneath it if you feel like you want to have a towel underneath it. But pro tip, you're going to want to use an all cotton blanket to drape over you, and I'll get to that in a second. But the reason being is the steam is captured inside that blanket when it's over your back. And again, my guide will show you pictures of how to do it. But without that, if you use something like plasticky, like polyester, you're really like steaming with the polyester in there. You really just don't want you to steam with polyester, like a material around you, because think about it, it's like not breathable. And also like what microplastics, like what's happening in there. So just, use organic cotton. I like is to use a nice towel, or like a towel that after you shower, one of those towels, a Turkish towel, something like that can be really nice, but all cotton. Okay, so we just did a little bit of mixing here. Did a little bit of our mixing here. And now we need to get those apricots up in here, because we need to get those in to make this great little energy bite. So I'm just going to take this out. I'm just going to capture as many as I can and put them back in here without the liquid. One of my favorite purchases ever. I love just wooden spoons. They're just my favorite. Kind of like a spatula spoon. So I mash it. You could blend it. I know there's a blender option to like all power bar, or energy bite recipes. Put that in here. And then I just use my hands and I just mash it all up. Like that. Mash it all up with your hands. It's so much easier. Please do not use a spatula. It's gonna drive you crazy how much it sticks. It sticks way less on the hands, I swear. So these are going now, and I hope that they just taste as delicious as they smell, because I'm really just digging the smell here. But yeah, essentially you just put the blanket or a towel over you, and you kind of use it as like a nice curtain over your back. What you're going to do is just squat down and do a nice kind of like squat, and then lean forward with a pillow in front of you. Again, it's hard to like explain it. You have to see pictures. So that's why I have pictures available and ready for you all, because I want to make sure that you know how to do it. 1 tablespoon of coconut oil. You don't really need the coconut oil. It's like squishy without it, but I like the coconut oil for energy, and there's some good fats in there. So we got that going. We're just gonna mix that in. And then from here, I just need to roll them in some coconut, and they're good to go. If you want to add a little honey drizzle, you can at the very end. It's totally your call. I'm gonna do 50-50 because I'm not really feeling too much honey right now, but I know in a couple days I'm gonna be like, where's the honey? You know what I mean? So I'm gonna take the apricot nut mixture and kind of just roll it in a ball. It's so easy to manage because I soaked it. Again, pro tip, you gotta soak it, guys, gotta soak it. And then I'm gonna take the coconut, do this little roly, and then there's one. Super easy. So I'm gonna do that a gazillion times. So you can look in the description below, and you can now have it free. It's accessible on my website, so I'm so excited for you all to have this recipe. I grew up with apricots quite a bit in the mix, whether it was swimming in the most beautiful pools and having apricot trees close by to grab a couple, to memories of my friends. They had a red dachshund. This is before I had dachshunds, and one of their chunky monkey little dachshunds would eat all the apricots off the trees when they were low on the ground, because they were low, or he was low on the ground. And I remember just being like, hey, I wanted those, and constantly having this little fight when I was 5 with this dachshund, but what great memories those were. But I grew up having apricots always on the table, especially with my Nana. So I'm excited to share this recipe with you all, and you can dive into it. Soaked in chamomile, made with so much love, with a raw honey drizzled on top, and they can be just quick bites to have through your postpartum journey. So I'm gonna put these in the fridge, and then eventually I'll put them in the freezer and just pull them out as needed. But they're just a great quick bite, and you really don't have to purchase all these processed bars. It's so easy that like we talked through it, but typically this would take me maybe 5 minutes in a pinch. You could also throw it all in a food processor and get it done much faster, but I appreciate soaking things and taking my time. So anyways, more about the vaginal steaming. You are welcome to check out my guide. It is such an easy, simple way to bringing some healing care to your body postpartum. And you might find that heat might be your best friend versus using cold, because I know a lot of, especially here in California, cold is really like something that's preached for postpartum, is using cold packs and doing like a lot of the soaked witch hazel cold packs. But I have found that warmth through using more like traditional Chinese medicine beliefs, that warmth is such a healing, that warmth brings blood flow. I like using warmth in that area to really just create more blood flow and more healing versus being more of an astringent and creating more coldness. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking to help yourself with inflammation, I would look at using heat still, like vaginal steaming, but using things like chamomile to help with the inflammation versus using cold, which can sometimes just really stunt your healing process. So definitely something for you to look into, but feel free to message me if you have any questions. Look at my guide below, and I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and I hope that you take care.